Hey, I've been talking a great deal recently about Parks Casino and Sportsbook. I think I'm on somewhat of a roll. I mean, I'm not down. I've had fun with both pro football and college football thus far, but maybe you're not into the gambling. You're like, come on, Michael, enough already with this gambling talk. Well, how about entertainment? I mean, Parks Casino is a great place to go and see some live shows in a fabulous arena. Well, it's not really arena. It's like a big theater, 1,500 seats, the Excite Center. It's where I saw Dana Carvey. Here are some headliners who are coming up. Think about this. Martina McBride, the Joy of Christmas Tour. I don't want to see the decorations yet, but I know I got to buy my tickets in advance to see Martina McBride, and I'm cool with that. Comedian Nicole Byer, host of the Netflix comedic reality bake-off series called Nailed It. Chris Isaac, also the It's Almost Christmas Tour. World-class entertainers, 3,200 state-of-the-art slots, 115 table games, the best sports book on the entire East Coast, and so readily accessible from Interstate 95 or the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Buddy Guy, The Spinners, Gladys Knight, Air Supply, whatever you want. It's coming to Parks Casino, and it's a fun night out, good food, good drink. Enjoy it. For all things Parks Casino, visit parkscasino.com, Parks Casino and Sportsbook. This is how you win. Got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Today, in the Wednesday edition of the Smerconish.com daily newsletter, don't miss Rob Rogers' editorial cartoon. It's hysterical. Jack Oman, Rob Rogers, Steve Breen, all these guys are on such a roll drawing cartoons for the newsletter. I love it. Not giving it away. You've got to be a subscriber to the newsletter, but it's free. It's Joe Biden on a picket line in Detroit yesterday, but not exactly how you saw him. And it also throws in Travis and Taylor. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. So enjoy the editorial cartoons. Reminder that in today's newsletter is a link where if you click on it tonight at 8:45 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to do some pre-gaming in multiple ways, some pre-gaming for the GOP debate at the Reagan Library just for 15 minutes tonight.
Okay, so that's going to be well after the drinks have been poured. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
That's what I heard.
I don't know. It depends how much work I've got going on. I just know this. For 15 minutes before the debate at the Reagan Library, I'll be online exclusively for newsletter subscribers. If you got the newsletter, there it is. Click on it at 8:45. I will see you tonight. And finally, also in my social media today, sorry for all the shameless self-promotion, but I'm so proud of this. Oddly, like the debate tonight is at the Reagan Library. 2 years ago tonight, I delivered a keynote address at the Reagan Library, and thank God it was all recorded. You have to see the venue, the way that we captured it in my speech. And it's in all of my social media. Sadly, the theme of that speech from 2 years ago tonight stands the test of time. It was one of the most rewarding professional nights of my life. And then the following day, found out that I was a grandfather.
Which was as fully as rewarding.
What a way to end to end the trip.
What a week.
Headed to LAX and the phone rings.
Incredible.
And there it is.
Yeah, happy birthday.
So that's tomorrow. That is tomorrow. Happy birthday to Finn.
Sweet
tomorrow.
Finn.
Gang, listen to me. This is the most important thing that I'm going to tell you for the entire program, if not the whole week.
Wow.
We got to bring back Millie. We've got to bring back Millie. Millie was the Springer Spaniel for George Herbert Walker Bush and Barbara Bush. Millie wrote her own book. Millie didn't bite anybody.
What about Bo?
Much less 11 people.
Oh my gosh, what is happening?
Do you remember when we were at the White House and we saw Bo's bowl?
Yeah.
Because we did a broadcast from where Bo would get walked.
That's right. That's where they would take him out. And
there's his dog bowl.
You would see Bo, whenever you would see him on the White House lawn, that door that they go in and out of, that's where you were broadcasting.
Right.
Very cool.
That was a fun day.
Yeah, I don't think Bo bit anybody.
Well, I know.
Bo's not going to bite anybody.
I know that Millie didn't bite anybody.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
But Commander, 11 people? Gang, can I tell you a little something as a lawyer?
Geez.
This is a whole area of the law. It's called the one bite rule. When I was a kid and Felicity bit me, Felicity was a Dalmatian. When Felicity bit me, our neighbors knew, that's it. And by the way, Felicity bit other kids. Felicity bit 3 other kids in the neighborhood. But from a civil liability standpoint, although in some states there's strict liability, which means like, that's it. Your dog bites, that's it. Bit somebody, and the person was in a place where they were allowed to be, not a trespasser. But typically in law school, we learned about the one bite rule, which means like you don't know your dog's a biter until your dog bites somebody. But when your dog bites somebody, you're on notice. And if your dog bites somebody else, they've got civil
once you know, because they've already bit someone.
So if Commander has bitten like 11 people, that's nutty. And it's not just Commander. Major was a biter. And Major was sent back to Delaware, we were told.
I have to say, I have friends that have German Shepherds that are so unbelievably well trained. Like,
that's what they say about Commander.
But this is my question. Like you could say like, well, German Shepherds, and they are
pit bulls.
Well, no, but
Dobermans.
German Shepherds are meant to be guard dogs. They are meant to protect you. That's how they have been bred and often trained. But I am telling you right now, I just spent a weekend with one of my friends who has a German Shepherd, and that dog, that sweet Dutch dog, that dog is not going to bite anybody.
Dobermans.
You can put your hand in his mouth.
No,
and he's not going to bite anybody.
Your hand in his mouth.
I did put my hand in his mouth. Like, he's amazing.
Dobermans scare the crap out of me.
Really?
Like that is the one dog I'm like, ooh. And I'm a dog person. We have dogs. We love Core and Potts.
Right.
Go Dr. Marty's.
Right.
Okay?
No.
But Dobermans, ooh, hang on.
No, but it's not the breed.
It's not the breed. No, it's the way they're raised.
No. I mean, I watch enough news that literally every single week someone's like the grandmother's favorite dog eats the 2-year-old. Like, I get it. I totally understand and get it. But I also think, like, I do not know what's going on there.
Right.
Is it just too much like a revolving door?
Okay.
In other words,
I do want to speak to that.
What's the situation? But
First
you
of all,
have to then. By the way, if that's the situation, you can't have a dog in there.
No.
That's
Wait,
the answer.
no. You can't have that type
dog.
of dog maybe in there. Look, first of all, the thought that Major has been like retired to Delaware reminds me of a story that my wife tells. I'm not going to do it justice, but she does a great job telling this story about a dog. It was not a biter. It was a dog that died when their family dog died when she was just a little girl. And one day the parents simply said that, I can't remember, it had an Italian name because of her heritage, but that Nunzio had been sent off to summer camp. Like the kids come home like, where's Nunzio? Oh, Nunzio went to summer camp. And then like 5 years later, the kids remember and they're like, wait a minute, when's Nunzio coming back? And
5 years.
And now they're like old and they're like, are you kidding? Nunzio's gone. Nunzio's gone.
That is so wrong on so many levels.
Major is in Delaware. Maybe.
Major
Maybe
went to the shore.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Major went to Rehoboth.
Right.
No, Major's in Rehoboth Beach.
Right. Camp David.
The thing about the White House, I know from being there infrequently, is it's a very odd place. It is such a fishbowl. There are so many people around. It's very hard. Like the First Family, and I've been in the First Family quarters on, by the way, Millie's watch. Because
I want to see the First Family quarters. I'm very interested.
One of the coolest things that one of the coolest things that I ever saw.
Not a lot of people have done that.
No, like there is a kitchen, a snacking kitchen, and it faces Pennsylvania Avenue on the second floor.
Okay, when you say a snacking kitchen, can you cook a meal there?
Yeah. Like as I recall, it had a stovetop in it and a refrigerator and so forth.
Like
if you
just
wanted,
on the wall, or was it like a real kitchen?
I want to say that it was a small kitchen, like the size of your space here.
Okay.
And if you wanted a snack, you didn't have to call downstairs and get the bowling alley.
Okay, good. That's what I was wondering about.
I have to believe that it is a very unsettling place for a big dog.
I don't think it's not the big dog. It's an alert dog that's into
too much going on.
No, but a lab would be fine there. It's not the size of the dog.
A lab would be fine anywhere.
Well, that's my point. So a lab or a golden, no problem. Or Bo. I mean, Bo wasn't a small dog. It's not the size of the dog. It's that those dogs are bred and trained to be on high alert. And I think that's probably part of the issue. But they've got to know that. I mean,
and by the way,
it's not fair to the dog.
Judicial Watch, which is a conservative watchdog, is like,
I'm sure they're watchdogging
on the case. Jeez. And the reason that we know how many times these dogs have bitten people is because they filed a Freedom of Information Act request of the Secret Service, and they got 200 pages of records. Look, I'm chuckling a little bit about this, but one of the Secret Service agents who was bitten, where did I see this, was really shaken up.
Well, you have to be careful too, because dogs' mouths are not clean. I mean, they could be carrying things, or they could have any kind of bacteria in them. You have to be really careful.
Yeah. Secret Service agents are not responsible for the president's pets. Like, these are pets. These are pets. This is not like these are guard dogs.
Sure.
Theoretically, these are pets, although I think they came from the service. Yeah, I don't know where it is, but one of these guys was really shook up, and that's not a funny thing.
No, they had to go to the ER, according to one of them.
But what's most astounding to me, just to get back to the 1 bite rule, is the idea that you'd get 11 bites. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, final thought on this, and then I'm done with it. The law is so specialized today. People often say to me, can you help me with a legal case? You're a lawyer. And I say, well, here's the firm that I'm associated with, and here's what we do. No, that's not what I need. I need somebody to write my will. I need a divorce. There's a whole area of the law where people practice dog law.
Oh, yeah.
There was a story. Last thing I'll say, no identities. Years ago, when you and I were together, there was a local television personality, and she became a guest on occasion to talk about different issues. She was a good guest, but she had a neighbor, and the neighbor had biting dogs, and she was in a war. Does this ring any bells?
Yes, it does.
Okay, she was in a war with her neighbor. Okay, she was in a war with a neighbor. I think he was a doctor.
I remember
enough said, right?
Nothing more need be said.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, this is like a developed area of the law, and normally your dog gets 1 bite, and then you are open to civil liability because you're on notice that you've got a problem on your hands. Okay. Other headlines from Smerconish.com, the Wednesday edition of the newsletter. Thank you for being a subscriber. I made reference to this yesterday. We linked to the story today. Speaking of the president, his footwear, Axios had a story talking about how since one of his recent tumbles, the president has been wearing tennis shoes more often to avoid slipping and using short stairs on Air Force One. I take no pleasure in this, unlike over at Fox, where they like to run all this on a loop. But I'm all for all birds for the president.
Is that what he's wearing? He's wearing all birds?
They look all bird-ish.
Yeah.
Look, I candidly...
He's lucky. He's lucky that right now tennis shoes are cool.
They are cool.
Like sneakers, like designer sneakers are cool for guys to wear with suits.
I'm all for it.
It's this whole shift since COVID.
Yes.
I was recently at a wedding and guys were wearing sneakers. I mean, it's definitely a thing.
I'm not for that, but I'm for it for him in the same way that I'm always saying to like my mom, take off the Chanel. And put on some sensible shoes.
Well, she looks great in high heels. Come on, don't deny her that.
I just worry. I worry about everybody taking a tumble.
I get it. Believe me, I can't walk in high heels.
So, Mr. President, I'm not making fun of your footwear. I don't want to see it on like I don't want the whole trend to go in that direction. But for him, be sensible and be stylish. Okay, so I have there are 2 Philly stories that are in the news today. I have a habit when my CNN program ends on a Saturday, and this is like our sign-off. I call TC, and I say, hey, decent show, anything to be said.
It is like the shortest phone call of the week. We run through.
Yeah.
I usually tell you.
That worked, that didn't.
Yeah, that worked, that didn't.
People are upset with you.
Now the poll is up to this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you cannot imagine the reaction to this.
Yeah.
Here's how many hundreds of thousands of people think you belong on Fox. That's usually our MO on a Saturday morning.
The conversation on last Saturday lasted for 3 blocks. No, seriously, it lasted for 3 blocks. I'm dialing out of the garage where I deliver the show. Hey, TC, what's going on? What do you think? Yeah, it's fine.
Good.
People are pissed. Okay, all right. Okay. Have a good weekend.
But no, you were very specific. You said, I'm double parked. I got to go.
Right.
I was like, you're double parked. What do you, I need some cigars, you said. I was like, I'm trying to think, like, where is he?
So I double parked on the 1700 block of Walnut Street. Why am I bringing this up today? Just to establish a little bit of resonance, connection to the fact that there was, and we debated whether to call it this in the headline that I wrote for Smerconish.com, and this is the way it's referred to. There's a flash mob.
Yeah.
There was a flash mob in Philadelphia last night, right on that block.
Right there.
Because there's an Apple store on that block.
Apple.
They didn't.
Lululemon.
Yeah, as far as I know, they didn't touch the cigar store.
No, they were running out of there with iPads and iPhones.
Right. Nobody.
Gosh.
Yeah, nobody was carrying a box of Ashtons, thankfully.
But it was right there.
But it's just so unsettling. We
so
talk about
unsettling.
these instances all across the country. Last night, it was in Philadelphia. I don't know how these things spontaneously happen. I assume social media.
They said social media.
I assume it's social media. And apparently it's unrelated to another protest that took place just hours before where charges against a Philadelphia police officer who shot and killed a 27-year-old were dropped. I think a lot of people were really caught unaware by this, especially the family of the decedent, Eddie Irizarry, I think is the pronunciation. Mark Dial is the cop. Mark Dial, I can tell you this, had a great attorney in Brian McMonigal. McMonigal and veteran criminal defense attorney William J. Brennan are, thick as thieves professionally and as friends. And so I know a little something about both of them. McMonigal represented Bill Cosby in the first case where Cosby got an acquittal. So Larry Krasner, the DA, the very progressive DA in Philadelphia, whom people blame, I will tell you, many people blame for a flash mob-like tirade last night. They say, well, it's Krasner. He's too liberal and he lets everybody out. So it's his office now prosecuting the cop. The facts of this are really, really tough. It's a car stop, and the guy is shot while still in his car, and the initial accounts do not match what the body cam showed. That's clear. Whether it rose to a level of criminal culpability or whether the officer was acting in good faith, that's the open question in this. So there were like two things that went on. Charges dropped against the cop. There was a peaceful demonstration. And then soon thereafter, and law enforcement is saying unrelated, there was the flash mob right in an area where I used to live and still frequent and know so well and spoke to TC from.
Yeah, and that is what is all eyes on Philadelphia, national eyes on Philadelphia this morning.
Yeah, shame. You hate to see it. You hate to see it anywhere.
Terrible.
Maureen Callahan writing for the Daily Mail. I think this is going to be a poll question. I went with the Amazon question today. Is Amazon good or bad for America? I love that question. Love our conversation about it. I had in my notes to say something like this. Taylor and Travis, fomance, F-A-U-X, fomance or romance?
I love that.
And you put the idea in my head because you're a doubter as to the sincerity of this love story.
I'm just asking.
I'm completely smitten with this couple.
Yes, you are.
But Maureen Callahan, writing for the Daily Mail.
You don't have time for Harry and Meghan, but for Taylor and Travis,
shares your cynicism. She's the one who called it a fomance.
So does Jason Gay. Everybody shares my cynicism. It's because Taylor Swift has such a history of doing this that I don't know if she's doing it on purpose or if they actually like each other. I have no idea.
Also,
but she's a genius. I'm not taking anything away from her.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
For her.
How about this? What's the over under on whatever it is going on between them?
Well, there's no over or under.
What do you mean? Because there's nothing.
No one's under anybody.
That is not true. I saw the convertible, and I know what happened in that convertible after. All right, moving on. There's nothing funny about this. Every time I see images, video of Britney Spears and Britney Shears, I think is the title of this.
Britney Shears, can you imagine?
Yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad. The pop icon shared a bizarre video with her 42.1 million followers on Monday in which she held a huge blade in each hand.
Yeah. And then she said these knives aren't real. Those knives are real.
And she's in a bikini, and it's just like...
Oh, no, she's always in a bikini. I mean, she posts these almost every single day if you follow her on Instagram. And it's this wild dancing. I just look at her eyes and I think something's not right there.
It's
Something
just sad.
By the way,
yeah.
Lou Piley on YouTube.
Yeah.
Free Travis.
Free Travis. I don't think Travis needs to be freed. Although we could do a mock-up of those T-shirts.
It's pretty funny. You could put a football.
On Britney Shears. I just want to say this. I got an email a week ago from Diane Dimond. She's an author. She's been on the program before, alerting me to her new book, which I've read. I'm definitely going to have her on the program maybe as soon as Friday because the topic is conservatorship. Guardianship and conservatorship, two related terms. She's been for 8 years investigating the world of guardianships, and they impact a lot of people, and she tells a lot of stories. There are 2 million Americans living under a court-ordered guardianship. in the vast majority of circumstances, good people are protecting the rights and interests of individuals who can't look out for themselves. But Diane Dimond talks about episodes and incidents and guardianships that have gone south. And the timing of this with Britney and with the Michael Orr
and the Toohey family, Blindside.
Yeah, Blindside.
Yeah, it's just, There's a lot in the news. I think people know what guardianships are more than they used to.
Right.
And she's done such a deep dive. I'm very interested to have her back on the program.
Look for that on Friday because I think we'll be able to do it then. Good. Finally, Powerball, $835 million.
Oh, yeah.
835.
Go get one ticket because you have zero chance if you don't get a ticket. And you have such a minuscule chance, even if you bought 100,000 tickets, you might as well buy one.
Payout or lump sum? That's all I'm wondering. Payout or lump sum?
Wouldn't you do payout?
Huh?
Wouldn't you do a payout?
I don't know. I'd like to win and then have to make up my mind.
These are good decisions.
If I win, and if a law allows, I'll never tell anybody.
I think Pennsylvania, you don't have to tell anyone.
I will never tell anybody.
No,
Will you tell anybody?
Absolutely not.
Do you think you could get away with it? Would you still come in just wearing black, shirts every day?
Would I still come in is the operative question.
Okay.
Would you?
All right.
Wait a minute. If you won $863 million, would you continue doing what you're doing now?
I think so. What else would I do?
Travel around the world?
Where am I going? I don't want to go anywhere. Okay? I want to be here. Yeah, I want to be here. Okay, we just saw and learned who's really committed to this audience because TC is taking the money and running.
I'm out.
And I will be here for you
postcard
tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, 8:45 p.m. in the newsletter, there's a link. We'll hang out for 15 minutes, then you go watch the debate, I'll go watch the debate, and all will be well. Like and subscribe here on YouTube. See ya.